Terry will be talking about herbal wisdom, how to use it when, and what to use as well. Terrence Gellner is a very impressive guy. He is a graduate of the Dominion Herbal College in British Columbia, Canada. He's been trained in the art of blending plants for medicinal purposes and values from prescription by certified osteopaths or allopaths? Okay. He's currently engaged as a master tea blender in northern New Jersey. He does counseling and providing alternative herbal combinations that help a person toward better health. Certainly something we could all use today. I, with great pleasure, introduce Terry.
Thank you. Hi, we're going to begin with a brief video that will describe tea, traditional tea as it's drunk throughout the rest of the world. So, without further ado, Story, how do I just punch it?
Tea was first introduced to Europe by the Portuguese wife of Charles II, Catherine of Braganza, in 1657, and soon became extremely popular in high society. Advocates of tea included Samuel Pepys, Florence Nightingale, and Anna, Duchess of Bedford, who introduced afternoon tea to ward off hunger pangs between lunch and dinner. Tea played an important role in making London a world trading centre. Tea clippers were introduced after the American War of Independence as a faster method of transportation for tea and other commodities. By 1750, over 500,000 kilos of tea were being imported a year. By the middle of the 18th century, tea drinking had become a national habit and provided a real alternative to alcoholic beverages. The cultivation of tea in Assam started in the late 1830s, and around that time, George Williamson and his cousins, James Hay and Charles Williamson, arrived in India and engaged in various enterprises from river transport to tea cultivation. Their interests in Calcutta were looked after by Richard Blamey Mager, with whom they entered into partnership in 1868 and founded Williamson, Mager and Company. Over the years, the group was to manage and own estates throughout Assam and Darjeeling. And in 1948, branches of the business were set up in Kenya and Tanzania, with the opening up of new estates in both countries. New plantations and setting up an estate's infrastructure in often hostile conditions was extremely arduous work. It was not surprising, therefore, that the pioneering tea planter and his wife enjoyed their leisure hours. In fact, they worked hard and played hard. The group is still controlled by the Mager family and now employs nearly 70,000 people on its 60 estates in India and Africa. It is, in fact, the world's largest private sector tea producer and provides an infrastructure of housing, recreation, hospitals, and education. In addition to the garden schools, the company has committed £4 million for the construction of a boarding school in Assam. The standard of education will rank among the best in India, and the school will be open to all social levels with the provision of scholarships. In conjunction with the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust at Slimbridge, the group has successfully bred the white-winged wood duck in 2 aviaries in Assam, and so helped save the bird from extinction. Tea is a camellia, Camellia sinensis, and requires an acid soil, good drainage, and well-distributed rainfall of around 50 inches a year for it to prosper. Such conditions exist in many parts of the world, and there are more than 30 countries where tea is grown. The major producers are India, China, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and Kenya, with Turkey and Russia as secondary producers. From an environmental point of view, it should be remembered that although a tea estate might have been created out of forest land, it is a permanent crop and maintains the soil condition and local microclimate, unlike most other crops. Old and unproductive areas are uprooted and the soil rehabilitated with Guatemala grass before replanting. Tea is usually grown by propagation. Cuttings are taken from bushes with the required characteristics of quality and yield and are raised in the nursery. It takes 3 years before the bush comes into commercial bearing. Left to grow naturally, tea would grow into trees of 30 feet. But it's pruned to waist height for the convenience of the pickers and to concentrate the plucking shoots into a smaller area. To ensure the highest possible quality of tea, the group insist that the top shoot of succulent new growth, consisting mainly of 2 leaves and a bud, is picked, a practice not followed by a large proportion of growers. This new growth contains the most flavor and forms the basis of a quality product. The shoots are plucked on a regular basis, depending on the rate of growth, but usually on a 7-day cycle. The season's new crop in North India is known as first flush and has a distinctive flavor. But the second flush, produced in May and June, yields some of the most highly regarded and expensive teas in the world, from both Assam and Darjeeling. The leaf is collected at a central point, checked for any unsuitable leaf, which is discarded, and weighed. It is then placed in bags and carefully transported to the factory in suitably designed trailers to prevent bruising. On arrival at the factory, the first phase of manufacture is withering. The leaf is spread some 12 inches thick in withering troughs, where air can be passed up or down through the bed over a period of some 16 hours. During this operation, the leaf loses about 30% by weight, and the loss is almost totally moisture. After withering, the leaf is taken to either one of 2 machines for processing, depending on the size of the tea leaf required. The orthodox machine rolls the leaf between rotating plates. Whereas the cut, tear and curl machine grinds the leaf into small pieces. The processing of the shoots ruptures the leaf cells and activates the enzyme responsible for oxidization or fermentation. When the leaf has fermented to the desired degree, it has changed color from green to copper brown and is ready for drying. At 3% moisture content, the leaf is discharged from the dryers as black tea. The dried tea is then taken to the sorting machine, which grades the leaves according to size through an automatic sieve system. There are 4 main grade descriptions. The whole leaf represents the largest of the grade sizes, followed by brokens, fannings, and dusts. Until recently, nearly all graded tea was packed into plywood chests for shipment around the world. However, chests are slowly being replaced by other forms of packing, the main alternative being the paper sack. The Williamson Tea Group has introduced a radically new method of packing its tea to ensure maximum freshness. Vacuum packing in its own factories within minutes of its final stage of production has resulted in the extra fresh range of products. Within 48 hours of packing, samples are sent to brokers ahead of the shipment for tasting prior to sale. The group's tasters have the responsibility of quality control throughout the year. Williamson and Mager, a world leader in the tea industry. Continuing the pursuit of excellence and dedication to customer satisfaction, they are still operating the same distinctive personal service today as over 100 years ago.
All right, my name is Terrence Gellner. I own Terry's Tasty Teas. I've been in business 10 years. I'm a graduate of Dominion Herbal College out of Vancouver, Canada. Up there, and with my experience, I can go back to Canada, work in a clinic as a herbal clinician, blending herbs for medicine. But down here, I'm just a citizen. So I've come to you tonight to hopefully shed some light on some herbs. I'm going to pick out a few popular herbs like ginkgo and pleurisy so that you have a full idea of why they do what they do and how best to enjoy them. I put together a small presentation. If you get this on your way out, that'd be great. It's something to take home and look at. Okay, we can start off with regular tea. Green tea has a reputation as being the super tea of the world, okay? It all boils down to one thing. Green tea just helps clear out the cholesterol in your blood, all right? Your body needs a certain amount of cholesterol to function, all right? So when everybody says, oh, cholesterol is a horrible thing, don't believe them. You need that, your cells need that to function. But what green tea does is it basically takes out the extra that builds up into sections and forms plaque within your arteries, and it keeps the arteries clean. Okay, green tea is an antioxidant by nature. It just keeps the oxidants down, and if anybody tries to tell you anything more about green tea being some super drug, well, it really isn't true. It's all marketing. Again, marketing. It's good, excellent stuff. Okay, let's move into the herbal kingdom. Before I start, do you have any questions that you've come with regarding herbs that you might want me to touch on? Okay, well, I'm off.
Maybe later after they've heard you for a while.
I like to give people the opportunity to establish that. All right, we're going to talk about catnip. Catnip is an herb that drives cats insane, okay? It's like alcohol to them, all right? But for us, for children and seniors above, say, 50, 55 years old, it's a muscle relaxant. It helps them to go to sleep. So if you have grandma, gets up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep, make her a hot cup of catnip tea. It sounds silly, but it will just gently, oh, I feel like going back to sleep, and off she goes, okay? And you can drink as much catnip as you want. It's not poisonous. It won't do you any harm. It just will relax you. It won't make you howl. It will not make you howl. And the amazing thing about catnip is it's in the mint family. So it mixes with lemons, bergamot, peppermint, spearmint, let's see, bee balm, lemongrass, all mixed well with catnip, okay? And if you get some local honey, I'm always going to say local honey. If you get some local honey and put with it, it just enhances it just a little bit, maybe a half a teaspoon, a teaspoon. Now, the reason I specify local honey, I'm drifting a little, but local honey, if you can get it from your local area, it has the local pollens in it, which basically inoculate you to the change of seasons. So if anybody's allergic when the seasons change and the pollens start falling out of the trees, if you have the local honey in you, you also have the local pollens in you. So when the seasons change, you don't change with them. You're pretty much stable. Okay. Another herb I would like to talk about is burdock. Everybody gets a pain in the joints every now and then, okay? The Japanese have been eating burdock. It's in the potato family. It grows like a radish. And the Japanese have been eating it for years. They've been cultivating it for well over 100 years. What burdock does is it helps take out excess fluid out of the synovial joints that may cause pain, okay? But not to the point of taking too much out, because you take too much out and you'll definitely have pain because there's no lubrication in there. But burdock also helps you to lose weight because it takes out the water, excess water in your body that your body just doesn't naturally squeeze out. But primarily, it's a detoxifier. So if you have burdock, say you're going to work in the garden or you're going to work on the farm, and you know after you get done working out there that you're going to be in pain. So you say, well, I'm going to have a cup of burdock when I get back. Your pain will be much less. All right? It's a fascinating herb, and it also grows local to northern New Jersey, so you can grow it in your gardens. It's fantastic. It also blends well with dandelion, that nasty old weed out there that everybody hates. Well, dandelion's an excellent purifier for the liver and the gallbladder. It helps the liver and the gallbladder remain pure, to process blood through efficiently, to keep the lipids, the fatty acids, the fat in your blood down. So burdock, take some burdock, mix it in with your dandelion, unless the animals have been out in the yard, then you need to purchase it from people like me. And mix with it chickweed and red clover. Chickweed and red clover both help keep toxins out of your body, and they clear your skin. So if you're prone to rashes or eczema, red clover and chickweed are the perfect thing to drink. And again, they'll grow up here in northern New Jersey. So you can spread it out, or if you're stuck to an apartment, okay, put a little window box out and grow your herbs. It's fantastic. Plus they give you a nice red blossom, and it looks great. I want to touch on echinacea. Echinacea is a trick herb. There are 4 different types of echinacea grown in the world. Echinacea angustifolia, padilla, purpura, and I just can't remember the 4th one. Sorry, I'll have to get that to you. In strength, angustifolia is the strongest, but it's the worst tasting. The next one down is purpura. It's the best tasting, but it's not exactly as strong. And the least strong and the least tasting is padilla. Padilla is a Frankenstein herb. It's genetically created, echinacea. It was made for the industry because echinacea is an endangered herb, like golden seal. So they created a strain, which is now padilla, and it mimics some of the qualities, some of the lymph clearing qualities that echinacea angustifolia does, okay, but not efficiently enough. But they can say that it's in their product if they just have this available. And what does echinacea do? Echinacea basically clears out your lymph system all over your body, okay, which is fantastic if you have a cold. Within the first 72 hours of having a cold, you should take echinacea, unless you're going for dental surgery, you're pregnant, dental surgery, pregnant, what do you think here? Dental surgery, pregnant. I think that's it, just dental surgery and pregnant. Or an operation in a hospital where they're going to put you in for anesthesia. Because by cleaning you out completely, cleaning out all your lymph of all the toxins and waste materials that your tissues pump out, all right, you're saying, okay, well, I've gotten rid of all the garbage that's in my body, and I've processed it all out, so I'm clean, okay? Well, there's a negative side of that. If you go in for surgery or you go in for dental surgery, whatever chemicals they pump into you will immediately fill up your lymph system, and you will be sicker than if you would have left your lymph system alone, okay? Likewise, ginkgo. Ginkgo is a fantastic herb, but it takes about 2 weeks to work. Theoretically, what it does is it provides more oxygen in your body. So if you have lung problems, emphysema, pleurisy, you're asthmatic, you're old and you can't get enough oxygen in your body, it's a fantastic herb to take. But if you're, again, going for any kind of surgery, don't take it, because by widening the blood vessels and keeping them clean and providing more oxygen to your system, ginkgo, in a surgery situation, your blood will not clot properly. Okay, so it's a negative to have this herb. So some things to consider. If you're prone to bleeding a lot in slow clotter, don't take ginkgo. You'll have more problems. You'll be like a hemophiliac. It won't stop. Okay. Okay. My specialty is really lung and respiratory conditions. I've learned a lot more than that in the 10 years that I've been at this. But my true love, if you will, is still the lungs. Because without the lungs, basically, we don't operate. No oxygen, no dew. So I'd like to touch on pleurisy. Pleurisy is a root that will grow indigenous to this area, okay? And everybody should have it in their cabinet for winter and for any rainy time period of the year. Pleurisy, what it does is when your chest feels heavy and fully congested, pleurisy gets rid of the congestion. It's a decongestant. It's a wonderful decongestant. It tastes a little bit like pepper, regular black pepper, just a little bit, okay? But you can get around that. There are things to blend with that that help get rid of the taste. But pleurisy doesn't make you groggy, doesn't knock you out. It specifically works on the lungs. So pleurisy is a medical term for a lack of fluid in the sac that surrounds your lungs. Pleurisy root, specifically the root, puts that fluid back into that cavity. Okay, so when you breathe, you don't feel the pain of your lungs hitting against the wall around your lungs. I forgot what it's called. I think it's your visceral wall. Okay, well, pleurisy blends well with wild cherry, slippery elm, mullein, chickweed, my favorite herb. It's also a nasty garden pest because once it gets into your garden, it just invades. Licorice root, and golden seal. Okay, I'd like to tell you a little bit about golden seal. Golden seal is another endangered herb. They cannot synthesize it in the lab. They have to use the plant, so it's going to probably be forever endangered. Golden seal is a fantastic herb. It's respiratory related. I would recommend, my own opinion, do not use the root because it's too strong. The berbein in it, the action of the berbein on the body is too harsh in the root. You can get away with using Oregon grape root for 1/5 the price of golden seal root with the same actions. Okay?
Grape what?
Oregon grape root.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oregon grape root, well, let's go back to golden seal. Golden seal elevates your blood pressure. Everybody. Elevate your blood pressure. So if you are prone to high blood pressure to begin with, it's going to knock it up even higher. Oregon grape root will not do that. It does not have the negative effect on your blood system or on your heart activity. Oregon grape root and golden seal root work on the lower GI tract. They clean them out completely. Okay, any excess mucus that's hanging on the walls, any cysts, lesions within your intestines or lower colon, golden seal and Oregon grape root will both work to heal them and keep your intestines clean. But golden seal, like I said, is pretty harsh stuff if you can steer clear of it. Yes?
If it increases the blood pressure, will it help burn fat?
The question was, will golden seal root, if it increases the blood pressure, will it help burn fat? No, not this one. This one is used in small quantities. It's good specifically for cleaning and repairing tissue within the intestines, okay? But it does not increase your metabolism to burn fat. For that, you might want to use another herb. But let's finish on golden seal first. Golden seal tops, the stem and the leaves, fantastic for respiratory condition. Asthma, emphysema, pleurisy, any type of sinus drip, golden seal tops. You'd need a 1/4 teaspoon to a cup of water. 20 minutes later, no more drip, all gone. It's fantastic stuff. And I haven't found its like anywhere else in the herbal kingdom to work that fast specifically to clean out nasal cavities. Okay. Something to elevate your metabolism? Well, it's a tricky herb to use. It would probably be ma wong or ephedra. Now, ephedra, I see you shaking your head. Ephedra is a tricky herb. And the reason I say that is because it's a bronchial dilator for asthmatics and people with emphysema or any lung condition. For the rest of the world, it acts like speed. It super speeds your heart. Okay, but asthmatics, it directly goes to the lungs, and it's a bronchial dilator. It helps them to open up and breathe. It's like drinking a regular cup of black coffee. The theophylline in the coffee opens them up. Okay, the rest of the world, it acts like speed. Okay, and they're very similar. A Mahung, ephedra, both will stimulate you to lose weight. They will help you to burn weight, but they have a negative side effect. So if you see a product that has ephedra in it, I would say steer clear of it, unless you're asthmatic and unless you're using it for a respiratory condition, because it has very lethal effects. And if you take it in large doses or with alcohol, it's deadly. Yes, in the back of the room. E-P-H-E-R-D-A, ephedra. I'll learn to enunciate later. Okay. I would like to talk about valerian. Anybody know valerian? Oh, a lot of people. What? It smells. The popular belief is, okay, it smells like dirty socks, okay? Has this, horrible smell.
It's indigestible. It gives my stomach indignation.
Oh, well, we might be able to get around that. Valerian has been used for about 300 years in Europe to settle hypertension in children. They don't use Ritalin, they use valerian. They put a couple of drops on a sugar cube and give it to the child. They suck on it, they calm down, they're happy. The parents are happy, life goes on. Okay, here in the United States, we have this stinky herb, we can't wait to get rid of it. Well, there's a way around it, and the Italians really taught it to us. They brought it over, and you use anise seed with it. Anise seed will mask valerian completely, and it will make it taste like licorice. Okay? It doesn't have the effect that licorice has. Licorice may elevate some people's blood pressure, okay? But anise seed does not. So you get the benefits of a relaxing herb that will help the type A person to calm down, okay? And you also get the flavor of something really great. And it works. You can give this to a child age 5 and above. And then, like I said, type A people, it will definitely chill you out. It's fantastic stuff. So if you know anybody who's prone to anxiety attacks, make a blend of aniseed and a little bit of valerian. Valerian's very strong.
Is that anisette?
Huh?
Is that what anisette?
No, anise. Anise seed. A-N-I-S-E. Not anisette. You don't want to put that together. And basically what valerian will do is it helps to relax the whole nervous system, okay, to give you an idea how strong it is. So you only need to use a half a teaspoon to a cup, and then you might want to add a quarter to a half a teaspoon of aniseed and mix them together and steep them. Don't boil them because you'll make it too strong. Steep them about 3 minutes, and that's sufficient. You'll be happy. Valerian has a side effect to it that's very remarkable. If you drink too much of valerian, okay, it makes you giddy. Very happy for some people, okay, and it's temporary. It only lasts about 20 minutes, but it's an amazing thing. Yes, I've tried it. I couldn't resist once I found out that it made you happy. So it takes about 5 cups in a row, and for some reason you're just happy for 20 minutes and then you're back to normal again. It's great. It's better than alcohol. Okay. So that gives you an idea. So the next time you want to turn a child on the Ritalin, send them over to valerian. I think they'll be better together. We need to speak a little bit about liver and gallbladder. Everybody's running around saying, I got to detoxify. I'm full of toxins. Okay. Simple way around that. All right. There's a plant called yellow dock. You want to use the root of yellow dock and mix it with dandelion. Basically, it keeps your liver clean, keeps your tissue functioning right, and it helps clean out the gallbladder. It's fantastic. The American Indians showed the Americans how to use it. Another herb to blend with that to make it taste good that will perform the same function is sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla specifically works on liver. Okay, it makes an okay soda. We tried making it soda last year. It was okay. I think I'll stick with the other stuff. Okay. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you about. Oh, this is fantastic. You're going to love it. Joint pains? Anybody? Oh, fantastic. You're going to love this. To my knowledge, I'm the only one you're going to be able to get it from, but you need to write this down, okay? It's an African herb. It's called devil's claw. Okay? Got that? The next one is, it's an old biblical herb, well, actually a gum. Frankincense. Okay? Also known as boswellia gum. All right? And burdock. Go back to the burdock. Those three in conjunction with each other will act like cortisone in your system and not have any of the negative effects of cortisone. They will get rid of your pain in, I guess we've got it down to about 15 minutes. Yes?
When you say in conjunction, what do you mean? All three in the same?
All three in the same.
Or different days? Okay.
No, all three in the same. Blend them all together. Now, when you do this, because of the gum of boswellia, or frankincense, they're synonymous, use an old pot, preferably not aluminum, something enamel or steel, because the boswellia gum is going to stick to the sides and ruin your pot if you don't use something that you can throw away later, or that you can just save specifically for that purpose. Now, you can get away with using cheesecloth or those drawstring little pouches and toss that in. I would recommend that you take a tablespoon of each, blend them together, boil them for 5 minutes in 1, 2, 3 tablespoons, 4 cups of water. Let it cool down, bottle it up. When you're ready, when you need it, take a little juice glass full, okay, after you've performed some activity that you say, oh, I'm dying, I need something. Take a little juice glass full, add a little bit of warm water to it to bring it up to room temperature and down the hatch. It tastes licoricey, okay? It's not bad, fantastic stuff. Works like a charm. We've been making it and selling it for, 3 years. When I found out what it did, I just couldn't wait to try it. Good stuff. All right.
What temperature? Boiling or?
You want to bring it up to a boil, okay, for about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. All roots need to be boiled. All barks need to be boiled. All nuts, without the flesh, need to be boiled, okay, to extract them. Nuts with the flesh need to sit in water for a while to rehydrate, if you will, okay, before you'll need to mash them down a little bit and then go ahead and boil them to extract them. Leaves and stems should only be steeped, like regular tea, about 3 minutes. Flowers, dried flowers can be steeped like leaves, about 3 minutes. Hibiscus is a fantastic flower. You'll find hibiscus in a lot of commercial tea, a lot of commercial herbal tea, because it natural fruit flavor. One leaf will last maybe 3 or 4 cups. So you just pull off a petal, if you will, and throw it into your cup, or pull off 2 petals and throw it into your cup. No? Oh. And it's so strong that you can add lemongrass to it, or lemon juice, or that's better, or any kind of mint. You'll find hibiscus mixed with ginger in Egypt, lemon in Israel and Palestine. You'll find hibiscus mixed with Turkish tea, regular black tea. Hibiscus is so easy to use, and the best hibiscus to find, it has a maroon color. Make sure that it has a maroon color. If it has an old, dusty looking maroon color, steer clear of it, don't go near it. It's old. And it's so good to have fresh that you'd be totally disappointed if you got it in your cup and said, what's this? You'll be cursing my name, and I wouldn't want you to do that. This is too good. Herbal teas are fantastic. They really are. You can have so much fun with them, but you just need a little bit of knowledge. There's so much information on the internet about herbal teas and what they're made of. If you have access to the internet, the University of Wisconsin has the best website I have found in this country for herbal information. It'll give you family, genus, chemical constitutions, and if you ask the professors there, they'll even write you back and tell you how to use the stuff. It's fantastic. The University of Louisiana and Texas, A&M, and Wisconsin are the only places the National Health Institute are testing herbs in this country for their medicinal values. So every now and then when an alert comes up about an herb, well, one of these 3 universities has said, this stuff is no good. But then they usually back down a little bit because somebody made a mistake in the lab and they got to do more testing. It's always good to get a second or third opinion as to what this stuff does. Don't rely on just me. I want you to go out and do your own homework, okay? Because you all can decide for yourselves, oh, well, this feels that way and that feels, and you can only describe it so well to another person, but you really know. And if you get the education, it's yours for life, okay? And you don't have to rely on people like me. You get these books, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on books. flip through them in your library. If it looks like something you really think you'll learn something out of it, and it has good qualified recipes in it, if they make sense, then buy the book. If they don't make sense and they look fantasiic, if I can use that, if they look like they're full of fantasy and the author's trying to sell words, okay? It's really not doing you a blessing, if you will. You want a book that really has some meat to it. You can add flaxseed. Flaxseed's fantastic. You like nuts? Flaxseed tastes just like nuts. You can add it to grind it up and add it with your local honey, and it'll keep your intestines clean. It's very natural. Another intestinal herb would be sage. Boy, once I get on a roll. Sage, whether it's American sage or Greek sage. There's a Greek tea out there. The Greeks have a tea that grows in the Mediterranean. They call it Greek tea. And all it is sage. It smells, it burns, it bathes, it drinks, just like American Indian sage, which we use in smudge sticks. It's exactly the same stuff. The same plant, just grown in 2 different parts of the world. And basically what it does is it helps settle your stomach after eating a full meal. But its hidden value is it helps clean out the polyps of diverticulitis in your intestines, giving your intestines a chance to grow back to normal again.
Excuse me, is that the sage or the flaxseed?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, is it the sage or the flaxseed? It's the sage.
Sage.
Yes. So you can, the garden variety of sage that we grow up here in the Northeast isn't strong enough. It needs the hot, dry climate or the hot, humid climate of the Mediterranean or the Southwest. Everywhere else in the world, it doesn't seem to work as well. So those are basically that region of the world is the best. Let's see. Flaxseed, I want to just touch on flaxseed. Very inexpensive. You can add it to your trail mix, your oatmeal, your mucilix, grind it up, put it with your honey, okay? All by itself will help keep your intestines clean, keep your stomach clean. If you have a problem with an ulcer, flaxseed is fantastic. And it puts omega-3 oils into your body, all by its lonesome. And it's very inexpensive. Let's see. Oh, yes?
Is flaxseed oil better than the flaxseed ground up, or?
If you can, okay, the question is, was flaxseed oil better than the flaxseed? The flaxseed oil is better if you can get it while it's still chilled direct from the manufacturer. It has to be refrigerated all the way to the retailer. And you have to put it in your refrigeration and keep it there until you use it up. It cannot come out of refrigeration for 48 hours. It's very unstable if it does, and it loses its beneficial effects. But if you can get flaxseed that has been refrigerated straight through, okay, fantastic for asthmatics, joint problems, lung problems, memory problems, skin problems, eczema, roughness. You take about a tablespoon 2 or 3 times a day. It's fantastic stuff. It's a concentrated in the oil, okay? And if you can get it refrigerated straight on through the chain, all right, it's superb, fantastic. Yes?
How do you know that they have? I mean, they say it is refrigerated. You just have to take it.
Yes, you have to deal with a reputable dealer. Yes, sir.
You just sprinkle flaxseed on your morning cereal. Is that kind of nearly as good?
The question is, if you just sprinkle flaxseed on your morning cereal, is it nearly as good? Yes. Okay, because you're expressing the oil fresh in your system at that time. If you grind it in a little coffee mill, and I'm a big fan on local honey, if you blend the 2 of them together and put it with your oatmeal, it's fantastic. You're getting the fresh oils there on the spot. So if you buy, excuse me, sorry, if you buy flaxseed, it's just little itty bitty kernels, okay? And usually flaxseed should cost you no more than $1.75 to $1.25 a pound. This is a pound.
You eat them or you make a tea out of
No, it's better if you eat them. Okay, because if you make a tea out of flaxseed, it tastes nutty, but you're not getting the full benefit. But if you eat it, your body has a chance to break it down with the hydrochloric acid in your stomach, okay? And the essential oils don't get destroyed in your stomach. They survive very well. Plus, the hulls that are so minor on these will really not upset your stomach and add fiber to your diet, which your muscles will appreciate when they try and send food out through to enter your system and exit your system. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I have a question. What about the flaxseed capsules that they sell? And then the other question would be, is there a difference between the brown and the golden flaxseed?
The question is, what about the flaxseed capsules that they sell, and is there any difference between the gold and the brown? Okay. There's no difference between the gold and the brown. Okay? That's easy. The capsules, now we're going in another direction. The capsules, if they're vegetarian capsules, fantastic. Go right ahead, take them. But realize, at the time that they were pulverized, the essential oil in the seed starts to dissipate into the air. All right? So, by the time it gets to you, wherever you are in the supply chain, it may have lost a lot of its power. So it's so inexpensive for you to do it yourself. I know it's a pain. But a coffee mill dedicated to flaxseed, if you're going to do this as a ritual, okay, it's fantastic. And the taste is fantastic. Plus, the capsules, if it's an inexpensive product, the flaxseed capsule, the capsules are probably made out of cow. Okay? And I'm not so sure if you want to lead a vegetarian lifestyle or if you want to lead a cleaner lifestyle without so much undesirable cow products, you'll stay away from cow and flax.
What's the connection between cow and flax?
The products of cow and horse and pig and all the rest of the animals that we manufacture for food that we don't use, we grind up and make into a gelatin. Okay? The gelatin down the road becomes capsules. They're very inexpensive. And then we put our good, wholesome, nutritious herbs in them. And we take them. What are we doing? We're defeating the whole process.
But the downers they use for that, right?
Excuse me?
The downer cows they use for that.
The question was the downer cows?
The ones that fall over from the mad cow disease.
The question was, these cows are from mad cow disease or some other disease. No, these cows are regular slaughter cows that we buy out of auction and cut up, that we don't use, the products that we don't use, that you don't see in the jars in the supermarket. Okay? It's an absolutely horrible discussion, but once you realize where the capsules are coming from, you might think twice about using them. I wanted to talk about Gellner. Gellner, G-Y-M-E-N-A. Gellner, also known as garam booty in India, okay, helps people with diabetes. Helps you metabolize and process the sugar. Builds up your insulin level so that you can keep your sugar down. Garam booty, or Gellner, blends well with bilberry, blueberry, and blackberry, which are all good herbs for diabetics and people with chronic sugar problems. One and the same, sorry. Also good for people with eye problems, okay, because bilberry, blueberry, and blackberry help build up the cones in your eyes. Keeps them clean. Okay, so if you have a problem with night vision, I would say go get some bilberry. The stronger concentration of the bilberry is found in the fruit. All right, but the leaves are more stable and will last longer. The fruit will go rancid within 8 months if you don't use them. So they're not practical. Let's bounce back to another woman's change of season. Okay, let's call it that. When your moods are erratic, you can't deal with life because it stinks, okay? But the whole world is, you're angry at the whole world and it's your body's going through the next phase and changes, okay? You might want to get Dong Quai, Dongquai. It's a Chinese herb, tastes like cucumbers. Doesn't blend well with anything I've found, okay? It's a root. You have to boil it up, but it will stabilize your moods during those periods of hormonal adjustment. If you're not taking estrogen replacement therapy during that period, you can go get some black cohosh. Black cohosh is natural estrogen, all by its lonesome. And natural estrogen, yes ma'am, it's black cohosh, BLACKCOHOSH. You're welcome. Fantastic. If you if you find that your hormones need the estrogen, okay. In a woman, if you have too much, it's the other way around. Sorry. A subordinate herb to that would be sassafras. So you can mix black cohosh and sassafras together, but don't mix sassafras and Dong Quai together. The taste is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Imagine cucumbers and root beer. I can't.
And ice cream.
Oh, yeah, that's an ice cream. Okay. Sassafras is natural testosterone. Okay. In a woman, too much testosterone comes to a climax and converts over into estrogen automatically. So it's a lesser herb to take. It has a wonderful flavor. So when you mix it with black cohosh, it's sort of like benefiting the same purpose by providing you with more estrogen. Dong Quai is probably the best, but bon appetit.
So it's sassafras essentially be like yohimbe?
Okay, the question is, will sassafras be like yohimbe? Sassafras, natural testosterone, also functions to help your muscles repair after being stretched too far. When your contractions and your body says, okay, well relax, and you don't relax and you keep on pushing, okay, you're liable to tear a muscle. Sassafras, if you drink sassafras as a tea or chew it as a root, will help repair that muscle that you just told your mind to disobey your arm. Okay, so that will help repair your body again. What was your question?
You said it's the natural testosterone. Does it have a similar effect?
Oh yeah, yohimbe. Before Viagra became Viagra, yohimbe was it. Yohimbe is a South African herb that whatever muscle you're using, male or female, whatever muscles you use, a lot of, okay? Yohimbe works to force blood in there and keep it there, whatever muscle is being used the most. So theoretically, if a man needs something more to perform, okay, he will go get some yohimbe and drink it or eat it, and theoretically it will help him to perform better because there's more blood in his muscles. Yeah. Okay. Yohimbe has one negative side effect. It tastes like sewer water. It is horrible. And have I found anything that blends with it to make it taste better? No. You're stuck with it.
Once it's always.
But you can grind it up and put it in vegetable capsules and avoid the taste. Okay, so there are certain things you need to know about herbs before you go with your hard-earned cash and say, oh, it's disgusting. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
You mentioned that the sassafras, which is the substitute for natural testosterone, that if the female has too much testosterone, you said it changes into estrogen?
The statement is, will too much sassafras, which is natural testosterone, convert over to estrogen in the female form? Yes, it does. There's a limit, a peak limit of how much testosterone a woman can have in her body before it automatically converts over to estrogen. Yes, it's a proven medical fact. So, unless there is severe changes to the hormones in the pituitary gland of the female, whereby their body can utilize testosterone more, and usually that occurs in more Mediterranean type women than American because of the genetic structure, okay, of that zone. You'll see evidence of more testosterone in their face as a first place, okay? They'll be more hairy, all right? But even still, they'll get to a peak of how much testosterone will be in their body that'll be used by their body, and then it'll convert over to estrogen. It's a medical fact. Okay. 20 minutes, at least. And one more question in the back, and then I think I have to hold it. Yes, ma'am.
It was asked of me, Harriet said that when I asked you before about the white tea,
Yes.
it was over there and the rest of the people here didn't hear about it. I had heard on television.
I can discuss that.
Yeah, would you please?
Okay, the question is about white tea and how it's high in antioxidants. Okay, go back to the beginning. I'm glad you're going to help me close it. Green tea is probably the best antioxidants you can find to keep the cholesterol lipids in your blood system down. White tea is fungus that's allowed to grow on green tea. It's about 5% of the production in the world, and it is tasty. Okay? But for antioxidant effects, sencha, Japanese green tea, #1. Gunpowder, Chinese or Taiwanese green tea, #2. And Dragonwell, China green tea, #3. In that order are the highest antioxidants of green tea. White tea is a marketing ploy, tastes nice, but it's not really high in antioxidants. Ta-da. And with that, I think I got to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, one. Okay.